Girls, in this video, I'm going to explain a little bit slower some of the concepts that this guy is explaining in Maths Online, okay? So this is related to chapter 17.8, sketching parabolas of the form y equals x plus a times x plus b. Okay, so we have here an expression, okay, an equation, y equals x squared, take away 2x plus 8. So the first thing that he defines is the shape of the parabola. So that's the first thing that you're going to identify, the shape. I'm going to write it here. So the first thing that you have to identify is the shape. So what is the shape of the parabola? So remember in our previous videos, if this x squared is positive, it's going to be upwards. If it's negative, it will be a sad face. If it's positive, it's a happy face. If it's a negative, it's a sad face. But in this case, it's going to be positive. So that's the first thing that you're going to identify. Then the second thing that you're going to do is intercepts. Find your intercepts. Intercepts. So he's finding the intercepts here. Okay, this is the second part. So just remember to find your y-intercept. That's what he's doing in the first step. To find the y-intercept, you have to put x equal to 0 because that's when it's going to cross the y-axis, okay? So we have here the x-intercept. We have to put it x equal to 0. And when we do that, I'm going to do it here in black. Just notice when we put, I'm going to put this 0 in here and in here. When you do that, what happens? You have y is equal to 0 squared. Take away 2 times 0 minus 8. What happens? This becomes 0, this becomes 0. So y is equal to negative 8. So that's why he got here y is equal to negative 8. My suggestion there is when you're writing your intercepts, write the coordinates. So don't leave it like this only. I want you to write here in your intercepts. When you're writing your intercepts, just write y-intercept. And you write your coordinates, which is x0, and then y equals to negative 8. Okay, wonderful. Now, in the next part that I wanted to explain is how he finds the y-intercept. So he's finding here the x-intercepts, sorry. So now he's going to find here the x-intercepts. So when he's finding the x-intercepts, what do you have to find the x-intercepts? You have to put y equal to 0. So that's what he's doing here. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to put this 0 in here, okay? And that's what he have here. So when you do that, you have 0 is equal to, I'm just subbing in here, 0 is equal to x squared. Take away 2x. Take away 8. Sorry, my webcam is not working very well. He wrote it the other way around here. It doesn't matter. You can write it the other way around and it doesn't matter. But to solve this one, girls, you have to factorize this expression. So to do that, I hope that you have watched the other videos and you remember how to do it. So I'm going to do it slowly here because he did it very quickly in his video. So what we have to do, remember that I have to find the, we have to find the factors of 8. So to find the factors of 8, I'm going to do it here, factors of 8. So what options do I have? 1 times 8, then 2 times 4, and that's it. Agree? Now, but what happens? I know that when I multiply it, it has to be equal to negative 8. So that means that one is going to be positive and the other one is going to be negative, whatever it is. But I also know that when I add them, they have to add up to negative 2. So that gives me that it has to be negative 4. It has to be negative 4 and positive 2. Because when I add negative 4 plus 2, I'm going to get that is -2. So when I do that, when I factorize it, then I say, okay, this is when it's going to be x plus 2 times x take away 4. Wonderful. Now, just something to clarify here on this side as well. What do we have here, girls? So basically, if I have a 0 is going to be equal to a number being multiplied by another number, whatever it is. Agree? So I have two options. How can I get to 0? I can get to 0 if one of them is 0. If this is 0, it doesn't matter what number I have here. I can have 32. The answer will still be 0. Agree? It doesn't matter what number. So that's one option. The other option that I have is that the first one is whatever number. I'm going to write whatever number, doesn't matter. And if this one is a 0, then it will also be 0. Or the third option is that both are 0. So as long as one of them is 0, it's going to be an option. That's why when we solve this type of equations, we have two solutions. Okay, girls? So now I'm going to ask you here, how do I get that x plus 2 be equal to 0? How do I get that? So x will be equal to -2. Hopefully you're saying that. Or, and that's one of the solutions. Or that x take away 4 is equal to 0. And I get that by x equals 4. So that's the other option. That means that I have two x-intercepts. And we know that that's right because our parabola is going to cross twice the x-axis. So how do we write these ones? We have to write it like this. One of the intercepts, I'm going to write them here, where I'm going to have all my information. The x-intercepts that I have are 2. One is saying that is -2, 0. And the other one is 4, 0. Wonderful. So now let's continue down and see what else happens. Okay, so I'm going to bring that information that I have up there. I'm just going to bring this information here. Wonderful. So I know my shape, and now what does he do? I'm going to do it with red so you can see it here. First, he say, okay, my first intercept that he draws is 0, -8. That's what he draws here. He put that point there. And then he's selecting the other 2 points that he has, -2, 0, this one here, and then 4, 0. Now, then he sketches the graph. I don't agree that that's the next step. I will say that the next step is to find your vertex or your turning point. And to do this, what you do is you find your turning point. You're going to find your axis of symmetry. So you go here and you know that between this point and this point, in between, in the middle, exactly in the middle of these 2 points, you're going to have your symmetry. So you find what is the distance between -2 and 4. So hopefully you're saying it's 6. Agree? Because how many steps do I have to jump from -2 to get to 4? 6. So the distance here is 6. What is the middle of that? 3. So if I walk either way, I'm going to do it from 4. That is easier with positives. Positive, take away 3. I'm finding here my axis of symmetry. What is the axis of symmetry? Hopefully you're saying x equals 1. Because this point is 1. I'm going to repeat how I got there. Distance between -2 and 4 is 6, divided by 2, 3. And then I move 3 steps and I get to this 1. So I know that that's going to be my line of symmetry. If that's my line of symmetry, then I know I can go and say, okay, this is going to be my turning point. Okay? And then you can draw your equation. But now we have one last thing to see, is to find what is this point here. What is the value of this turning point? So that's what we have to do. So we'll say that your third step is to find your axis of symmetry. That in this case we found that it was when x equals 1. And then now we are going to find our turning point or our vertex. So to find that, what we have to do is we are going to sub in this value into our equation. So what is our equation? Our equation is y is equal to x squared, take away 2x, take away 8. And what I'm going to do is sub in this value in here and in here. Okay, girls? So to do that, I'm going to say, okay, y is equal to 1 squared, take away 2 times 1, take away 8, and this is equal to 1, take away 2, take away 8. Is that right? Yes. And this, and then I have that this is equal to 1 take away 2 is negative 1, take away 8 is going to be equal to negative 9. So my point here, my turning point is what, girls? Is 1, negative 9. Write always your data in coordinates points. So this point is going to be 1, negative 9. I hope you find this video useful to explain what he's doing. Then you can follow the other examples that he does, but I recommend that you follow these steps. First, define your shape. Is it upwards or downwards? Intercepts, x-intercept, y-intercept, x-intercepts, the two x-intercepts. Remember that sometimes it can be one, only one, or it can have none. It's also an option. Then we have our axis of symmetry, and then you write your vertex. Okay, girls? Wonderful. If you have any questions, please let us know.